You probably saw the madness at Goodison Park when Everton fans invaded the pitch after their team, which was on the verge of going down, turned the tide and won the game against Crystal Palace 3-2 after being 2-0 down. Such games as that one, which saved Everton from relegation, show us that football is more than tactics and strategy. It is also about passion and determination, achieving goals against all odds. Like it was in the Champions League final 1999. Bayern were ahead minutes before the final whistle, but it took Manchester United 2 minutes to score 2 goals and win it. Such comebacks usually come out of nowhere, like it was in 2005 in the Istanbul final, but that is why they are so emotional and memorable. This video by Goal24 is a compilation of this season's brightest and most unexpected comebacks. Real Madrid has made a number of unbelievable comebacks this season. However, there was a time when Los Blancos suffered a heavy defeat and were beaten in the Champions League after leading 5-2 on aggregate. Their hopes were denied by their own player out on loan. So who was that player and what was the side to make such a comeback against Real Madrid? Let us know in the comments if you know the answer, or maybe remember that game. And now get ready for watching. Leicester Tottenham, Premier League, Matchday 17. That postponed game turned out to be a real Hollywood drama. Both teams had their problems. Leicester's form dropped since the previous season, while Tottenham had just sacked Espirito Santo and appointed Conte. That's why it was so hard to predict. A mess in the Tottenham's box was followed by Patson Daka finding the net in the 24th minute, but soon Harry Kane made Çağlar Soyuncu trip with a skill move and scored an equalizer with a precise shot into the bottom corner. In the second half, the game was equal for about 20 minutes. But in the 76th minute, Maddison made a shot and hit the sliding Tanganga, and the ball, after a ricochet, found the back of the net. Time was short and Tottenham rushed into attack, while Leicester parked a double-decker bus. We must admit the luck wasn't on Tottenham's side, as all the attacking efforts didn't let them score a goal. Before Conte went all-out attack, subbed off Reguilon and brought in Bergwijn, who was meant to be the one to make the difference. 95 minutes in, after yet another mistake by Soyuncu, Bergwijn scores, and 2 minutes later the Dutchman scored again and brought that crucial victory to Tottenham. And yes, yet again, it was Soyuncu who failed to catch up with the winger. It was a miraculous double by Bergwijn that brought 3 points to Tottenham, but the whole team kept fighting until the final whistle. That's something that Antonio Conte managed to instill in the team after only 2 months in charge: the character and power of will. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications to keep up with our new releases. Roma Juventus, Serie A, Matchday 21. Jose Mourinho and Max Allegri are both known for their old-school defense-minded approach. Should their teams play each other, they are unlikely to score many goals. However, that's not what happened this season. Both teams were looking for an early goal at the beginning of the game, and in the 11th minute Veretout took the corner and Tammy Abraham scored a header. Rugani was unable to stop him. But Roma's lead didn't last long, as 7 minutes later Paulo Dybala was left completely alone, got the ball and shot with his left. The ball went straight into the right corner. After the halftime break, the game turned even more intense. The long shot from Mkhitaryan found the back of the net, out of the Chilio's leg. 5 minutes later, a perfect free kick from Lorenzo Pellegrini made it 3-1, but that was just the beginning. Allegri's trademark substitutions did the trick quickly and effectively. 7 minutes it took Juventus. Locatelli, Kulusevski and De Chilio turned the tide and made it 4-3. De Ligt, however, made things harder for his team with his late fall and the red card, but the penalty from the Roma captain Pellegrini was parried by Szczęsny. It seems the Italian is way more used to taking free kicks. Despite all the attacking efforts from Roma, Juventus not only made that outstanding comeback, but managed to last until the final whistle and secure the win despite having a man down. Man United, Atalanta, the Champions League, Match Day 3. Solskjaer's Manchester United making a comeback was quite an ordinary thing. The Red Devils would often lose the first half, but come back and win the game after the halftime break. Yet another story of that kind happened that evening in the Champions League. 15 minutes in, Zappacosta made a low cross and Pasalic scored an opener at Old Trafford, having outpaced McTominay. And then another example of poor defending by United. Harry Maguire lost to Demiral, who scored a header from the corner and made it 2-0. Despite all the Man United attacks, 2-0 was the score at the moment the halftime whistle was blown. But surely it wasn't over yet. At the beginning of the second half, a through ball by Bruno was all it took. Rashford went one-on-one with Musso and sent it into the far bottom corner. The pressure was up as the Atalanta players seemed tired and Harry Maguire redeemed himself. Bruno Fernandes made a wonderful cross and the centre-back finished it. 2-2 was the score, but there was one more man yet to make an impact. The first half had clearly taken it all from Atalanta, and their bench was too short as none of the players could make a real difference. At the very end of the game, Shaw crossed the ball to Ronaldo, who outjumped Palomino and scored a late winner. And you all know the way these men jumps, that was a piece of art. That victory brought 3 points to United, which allowed them to qualify for the knockout stage and also allowed Solskjaer to keep his job for a while. Real Madrid PSG, Real Madrid Man City, the Champions League knockout stage. The Comeback Kings should be the name for Real Madrid after this Champions League campaign. Ancelotti's side has been the embodiment of confidence and composure. No matter how close they seemed to losing the game, they always found their way out of that. In the round of 16, Real Madrid lost the first leg to PSG 1-0, and they needed a win at Santiago Bernabeu. After the halftime whistle, Los Blancos were trailing 1-0 again, as PSG were in control. Apart from Mbappe's goal, they had a number of chances. And wasting those chances was a grave mistake, as in the second half Real Madrid finally showed their strength. Karim Benzema made fools of Donnarumma and Marquinhos and scored a hat-trick in 17 minutes. As a result, Real Madrid lost 3 halves out of 4 but went through nonetheless. There was a similar story in the quarterfinal against Chelsea, but the Man City tie was surely the cherry on top. The first leg was a goal galore, 4-3 in favor of Guardiola's side. City were by far the better team, but their unexplainable defensive mistakes let Real Madrid score 3. In Madrid, once again City were in control, giving Real Madrid pretty much no chance. When Mahrez scored in the 73rd minute, it seemed more or less over. Los Blancos had no choice but to go all-out attack despite all the risks. But the gamble paid off. Rodrigo scored 2 amazing goals late in the game, and it went to overtime. 5 minutes in, Benzema was fouled in the box by Diaz, and penalty was awarded. Karim didn't lose his nerve and sent the ball into the bottom corner without a chance for Ederson, and made it 3-1. City had to score, but their attacks were unable to breach Real Madrid's defense. It was over, Real Madrid went through, and Guardiola suffered a Champions League defeat yet again. Eintracht, Borussia Dortmund, Bundesliga, Match Day 18. It was a hell of a season for Eintracht. They lost so many times and finished 11th in the Bundesliga, but at the same time they thrashed Bayern, won against Bayern Munich and won the Europa League as they went through Barcelona, West Ham and Rangers. Despite not having a star-packed squad, this team is a real threat even to the biggest clubs. And what a match it was against Borussia Dortmund. 15 minutes in, a free kick was taken and Borja scored after a mistake by Royce. Less than 10 minutes later, the Colombian newcomer, who's been outstanding for Eintracht, scored his second one, and again it was Marco Reus's mistake that made it happen. Not the best of games for the German, to put it mildly. Of course, as Eintracht were 2-0 up, they switched to a more defensive playstyle, but Borussia didn't want to give up so easily. They kept attacking, and in the 71st minute, Torgan Hazard found the net. After that, all Eintracht could think about was defense. But their defense wasn't meant to stop Borussia. After a cross by Meunier, Jude Bellingham scored a header, and 2 minutes later Daoud scored the winner. All in all, it took Borussia only 18 minutes to make that incredible comeback, and that is something we'd like to see from them more often. Sevilla, Real Madrid, La Liga, Matchday 32. Apart from the marvelous Champions League campaign, Real Madrid has been no less deadly in La Liga and won the title when there were 4 matches left to play. And in La Liga there were some notable comebacks too, like the one against Sevilla. 20 minutes in, Ivan Rakitic took a free kick and smashed it right into the corner, 1-0. Real Madrid were too eager to get even and got caught on a counter-attack. Eric Lamela scored and made it 2, as Thibaut Courtois was unable to save it. Real Madrid got a task in hand. They needed to get back into the game against an opponent who is known to be good at holding an advantage. Shortly after the halftime break ended, Real Madrid got a goal. Vinicius dribbled past Sevilla's defense, played a cheeky backle to Carvajal, who crossed it low to Rodrigo. It might have seemed easy, though Real Madrid surely had to work hard that evening. In the 82nd minute, Carvajal made another assist to Nacho, who was all by himself in the box. The defender smashed it low and the score was even. But Real Madrid didn't want to stop. Los Blancos smelled blood and went for the victory. It was the second added minute when Rodrigo broke through into the box from the right and passed it to Benzema, who was unmarked. A powerful shot from Karim made it 3-2. Now it was over. The close game ended in favor of Real Madrid, the future champions. Atletico Madrid, Valencia, La Liga, Matchday 22. This season's Atletico Madrid is not what we're used to seeing. Left without his trademark defense, Diego Simeone had to turn to attacking football out of all things. Now the team has more ball possession than it used to have, attacks more, but these attacks look unconvincing. Attacking football was what Atletico showed against Valencia. Right from the start they went forward, but Valencia is a pretty solid defense-minded team, able to perform deadly counter-attacks. In the middle of the first half, Lodi was easily beaten by Yunus Musa, and the American made a shot and sent it into the near corner. Atletico was trailing and had to attack even more, leaving the defensive line exposed. And shortly before the halftime whistle, Hugo Duro turned the mass in the Atletico box into his advantage and scored. Simeone made a number of substitutions and made some tactical changes. As a result, the corner taken was finished by Cunha, and that made Valencia park a most solid bus, so hard to break. 7 minutes were added to the full time, and in the first one, Suarez made a shot that was blocked, but Correa got the ball and scored. 2 minutes later, a great through ball by Cunha was followed by Hermoso's finish, 3-2. So all the players who came in as subs contributed effectively and saved the day for Simeone and Atletico. What a comeback! Manchester City, Aston Villa, Premier League, Matchday 38. The final battle unfolded on Matchday 38, the last game of the Premier League season. Before the kick-off against Aston Villa, Manchester City were only 1 point ahead of Liverpool. That was to play Wolverhampton. That one last matchday was meant to determine the Premier League champions. Steven Gerrard, the Aston Villa head coach, said that his team were eager to do their best to deny City. And he was true to his word, as his team was really solid in defense and deadly with their counter-attacks. City didn't score in the first half, while Villa did. A cross by Digne, a finish by Matty Cash, 1-0. After the halftime break, City threw everything they got at Villa. But the villains stood firm. In the 69th minute, the ball was cleared away, and Watkins headed it towards Coutinho, who dribbled past Diaz and made it 2-0. The citizens now needed to score 3 goals in 20 minutes, because Liverpool were winning against Wolves. But it took them 5 minutes to rise from the ashes. Ilkay Gundogan, who just came in as a sub, scored a goal, and 2 minutes later Rodri scored the second. At last the momentum was on their side. City were playing their football, while Aston Villa players wavered and were making one mistake after another. That let Gundogan score his second goal and win the game for Manchester City, as well as the Premier League 21-22. Inter Empoli, Serie A, Matchday 36. The first season in charge of Inter could have brought the Serie A titles to Inzaghi. The Nerazzurri were very close to winning the Scudetto. The match against Empoli wasn't meant to cause much trouble, and yet Inter found themselves trailing 2-0 28 minutes in. First, Pinamonti outpacked Skriniar and finished, and then Aslani made it 2. It looked like Empoli surprised even themselves with such a start, since that moment all they were thinking about was defense. But Romagnoli, Simeone and Not Alessio from Milan scored an own goal after Di Marco made a low cross, and then Inter managed to make it equal. Lautaro Martinez scored shortly before the halftime whistle. Inter needed more than that. A draw was not enough, for every point mattered throughout the title race. That is why they returned to the pitch from the break with one intention: to attack. And they did score straight away. Lautaro Martinez's great finish made it 3-2. The comeback was pretty much completed. But Inzaghi's players wanted more and kept attacking. They got their fourth goal so late in the game. Alexis Sanchez was the scorer and Dzeko was the one to assist him. Though the comeback was surely memorable, it didn't bring Inter the title, as the Scudetto went to Milan instead. Monaco-Brest, Ligue 1, Match Day 37. This one is from France. On Match Day 37, Monaco played Brest at home, and just so you know, Monaco were second but followed by Marseille, so a win was needed to secure the Champions League spot. It took Brest 10 minutes to find the net, and 23 minutes in, they were leading 2-0. And unlike many other teams, the Pirates stayed true to themselves instead of parking a bus, even though their squad was no match for Monaco's. A penalty was awarded after Bilali's handball in the 44th minute, and it was scored by Ben Yedder, so the first half ended 2-1 in favor of the away team. But then it took Ben Yedder 3 minutes to score a hat-trick and wrap up the comeback for Monaco, and after that Kevin Folland found the net and made it 4-2. Now it was over. It was a crazy game, as Monaco managed to make a comeback and score 4 after they were 2-0 down. Brest were clearly the better team in the first half, but didn't have a single decent chance after the halftime break. Let us know in the comments if we've missed some of this season's incredible comebacks, and don't forget to leave a like. Thank you for watching, see you soon!